Sewing the 4-piece saree petticoat. In the previous session, we cut the fabric for the 4-piece saree petticoat. We will now sew the fabric pieces together. We will first sew all the 4 pieces, then attach the waistband to it, and finally stitch the cord for the 4-piece saree petticoat. At the end of the session, you will be able to sew the fabric pieces for the 4-piece saree petticoat. Let's first familiarize with the tools and materials needed to sew the 4-piece saree petticoat. They are fabric pieces, sewing machine, a pair of small scissors, measuring tape, tailor's chalk, and matching thread. We will first join all the 4 pieces of the saree petticoat. First, let's see how we will join the 4 pieces of the saree petticoat. The straight edge of the first piece will be joined to the slant edge of the second piece of the saree petticoat. Similarly, the straight edge of the second piece will be sewed to the slant edge of the third piece. Again, the straight edge of the third piece will be joined to the slant edge of the fourth piece. This is how our saree petticoat would look after joining the 4 pieces. We will now join the 4 pieces together. We will sew a straight seam to join all the pieces. We will first join the first piece with the second piece. Place the second piece over the first piece such that the right sides of the fabric face each other and sew them together on the wrong side of the fabric. Similarly, sew the third piece to it on the wrong side of the fabric. Lastly, we will attach the fourth piece in the same manner. As you can see here, we have joined all the 4 pieces together. Now, we will stitch a single top stitched seam on the right side of the fabric along the lines stitched earlier. We will now provide for an opening to loosen the saree petticoat as needed. So, we will sew a hem at the edge of the first and the fourth fabric pieces to a length of 5 inches. For this, mark 5 inches at the edge of the first piece on the right side of the fabric. Again mark 5 inches at the edge of the fourth piece. Now, turn the petticoat over to its wrong side. Now fold the marked portion twice and sew a hem up to this mark. Repeat the same for the fourth piece also. We will now attach the waistband of the saree petticoat. Now place the right side of the waistband over the wrong side of the fabric such that some portion of it stands out. Now stitch the waistband to the cloth. Also, stitch the part that stands out by folding the same. Now unfold the waistband such that the right side of the fabric stands outside. Turn the fabric. Now fold the edge of the waistband once. Again, fold the waistband widthwise. While doing so, ensure that the width of the waistband is 2 inches. Now stitch the waistband to the petticoat. We will now stitch a double stitched seam, leaving the gap of the presser. We will now join the first and fourth pieces to form the saree petticoat. For this, place the fourth piece over the first piece and stitch on the wrong side of the petticoat, leaving the 5-inch gap that we had left earlier. Now turn the petticoat over to its right side and again stitch a single top stitched seam along the line, joining the first and fourth pieces. As you can see here, the ends of the petticoat are uneven and need to be levelled. We will now level the ends of the petticoat. For this, we will first measure and mark 40 inches from one end of the petticoat to the other end. Also, make similar more marks at the other end. Now join the marks made. Cut the excess portions of the petticoat. We will now stitch the ends of the petticoat with the bottom hem. For this, fold the end twice and sew. This is how our petticoat looks at this stage. We will now stitch the cord for the petticoat. Take the cut piece set aside for the cord. At one end, fold the edge about half an inch. Then, fold both the edges of the cloth lengthwise towards the center of the strap. Now fold the whole length of the strap in half. Stitch along the length of the strap. Our 4-piece sari petticoat with cord is ready. In this session, we have learnt to sew the fabric for the 4-piece sari petticoat. Before we conclude, let's take a look at the key steps in sewing the 4-piece sari petticoat. Step 1. Sew the 4 pieces of the sari petticoat together and do a top stitched seam on the right side of the fabric. Step 2. Sew a hem to a length of 5 inches on the first and fourth piece on the wrong side of the fabric. Step 3. Attach the waistband to the petticoat and ensure that it has a width of 2 inches. Step 4. Join the first and fourth pieces, leaving the gap of 5 inches. Step 5. Level the ends of the sari petticoat with the bottom hem. Step 6. Stitch the cord for the sari petticoat. With that, we have come to the end of this session.